In this lecture series, we'll discuss about the drainage system in India. So, we divide it as Himalayan rivers and Peninsular rivers. So, under the Himalayan rivers, we found the Indus system, the Ganga system, the Brahmaputra system, and under the peninsular rivers, those east flowing rivers and west flowing rivers. And after that we will discuss about the monsoons mechanism. So the very thermal concept of Indian monsoons, Arabian Sea branch, the Bay of Bengal branch, then the northeast monsoons, then winter monsoons, then the peculiar features such as the drought-prone areas and flood-prone areas. So, the drainage system of India, of the total land surfaces of India, 90% drains into the Bay of Bengal, and the remaining drains into the Arabian Sea. Only a very small percentage of the area has an inland drainage system. The Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea drainage systems are separated along a distinct divide which lies approximately along the Sahyadris, Amarkantak, Aravallis and the Sutlej Chenab divide. The drainage of the Indian subcontinent has adjusted itself with the evolution of three main geographical entities, namely the northern mountains, the northern plains and the peninsular plateau. On the basis of their origin, the river system of the subcontinent can be divided into two classes: the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. The Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra river systems comprises the Himalayan group, while the major rivers in the peninsular system are Narmada, Tapti, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. So we would like to make a comparative study between the Himalayan rivers drainage system and the peninsular rivers drainage system. The Himalayan rivers drain high mountain regions and descends steep slopes. The peninsular rivers, on the other hand, drain a senile topography. The Himalayan rivers are characterized by their youthful nature, forming deep gorges carved out by millions of years of erosional activities. Along with the uplift of the Himalayas, these rivers continue to perform intense erosional activities, which is evident from huge loads of sand and silt transported by them annually. The major rivers, Indus, Brahmaputra and Sutlej, are of antecedent origin, while Kosi, Ganga and Ganga exhibit river capture. The peninsular rivers, in contrast, are basically mature rivers. These flowing streams from deep valleys and have graded courses throughout, while the west flowing ones are swift and have narrow valleys. Overall, the peninsular rivers have straight and generally linear courses. The Himalayan rivers are free to form their courses and follow a dendritic pattern These rivers have very large basins. The Indus drains approximately 2.5 lakh square kilometers within the Himalayan region alone. Himalayan reaches are very tortuous for the Himalayan rivers, but over the plains they display a strong meandering tendency and often shift their beds. The peninsular rivers, having little erosional activity to form, follow natural trends and joints in rocks. Superimposed drainage and river capture are common where there is difference in rock structure. Hard rock bed and predominantly non-alluvial character of flat to surface hardly allow any significant meandering. The Himalayan rivers derive their water flow from melting snow, rainfall, and the springs in the dry region, and therefore are perennial in nature, but they are not free from seasonal variations. The peninsular rivers are completely rain-fed. During summer, the small ones become dry while the large ones have a low discharge. The Himalayan rivers are suitable irrigation purpose because of their perennial nature and the easy penetrable soil of the region, which allows canals to be dug here. The peninsular rivers, on the other hand, are more suited for generation of hydroelectricity. This is especially true of the west-flowing ones. The seasonal nature of these rivers reduce their value as sources of irrigation. So now we would like to discuss about the very evolution of river systems. In the Himalayan rivers, the rivers originate on the southern slopes of the Tibetan highlands and after flowing the main Himalayan axis for some length, in particularly Indus, Sutlej towards the west and Brahmaputra towards the east, they bend southwards along the Syntaxian band, cutting through Himalayan ridges, forming deep roots and descend onto the northern plains. Deep gorges formed by the Indus, Sutlej, Alkananda, Ganga, Brahmaputra and Koshi indicate that these rivers are older than the mountains themselves and have continued to flow all through the building phase of the Himalayas, their banks rising steeply, while the beds went lower and lower, thus defining the profile of a deep gorge. This type of drainage, which is not consequent to a topography but exists prior to its origin. That's why it is called antecedent drainage. And now we'll discuss about the peninsular rivers. These rivers have acquired maturity as suggested, largely graded and shallow valleys, and the fact that they have existed for a longer period than the Himalayan rivers, with the exception of limited reaches of some of the rivers where recent faulting has occur. The beds generally have a subdued gradient as the erosional forces do not act. Literally, most of the peninsular rivers flow eastwards as the main watershed runs through the western Ghats close to the west coast. The notable exceptions are Narmada and Tapti, which flow westwards in throes which are not of their own making. These facts are explained by assuming that Western Ghats were the original watershed and their subsidence below sea has disturbed the generally symmetrical plan of the rivers on either side of the original watershed. A second major distortion was introduced during the Himalayan upheaval than the northern flank of the peninsular block was subject to subsidence and consequent through faulting. The Narmada and Tapti rivers flow in such through faults and have courses consequent to their general trend. During the course of their alluvial activity, they seem to have filled the original cracks with their detritus. This largely explains the lack of alluvial and deltic deposit in their valleys. So now we would like to discuss the Himalayan river system. The first is the Indus system. The Indus rises in Tibet at an altitude of 5,180 meters near the Mansarovar lake with a total length of 2,880 kilometers. The Indus is one of the world's largest rivers. It has a catchment area of 11,65,000 square kilometers, of which 3,21,290 square kilometers lies within India. It flows through a spectacular gulf cutting through the Kailash range and enters Jammu and Kashmir. From here it flows through Ladakh, Baltistan and Gilgit and descends down to the plains at Attock in Pakistan. In India it flows for a length of 709 kilometers. Its tributaries include Gatang, Jaskar, Dras, Siak, Singar, Nubra, Gilgit and Hunj. In Jammu and Kashmir, Kabul and tributaries in foothills near Attock and south of Attock, Khurram, Taus and Jamgumal. Then there were well-known Punjab tributaries such as Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej. The Jhelum rises in bearing at the foothills of Panjal range and its dense area in India is almost 28,490 square kilometers. It flows through the system that is the Kashmir Valley and Lake Ular before entering Pakistan through a narrow gulch. The Chenab is the largest of all the Indus tributaries and is formed by two streams, Chandra and Bhaga, which rise in the snow-covered Himachal mountains near Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. Its drainage area in India is almost 26,755 square kilometers. The Ravi also rises in Kulu hills near Rohtang Pass of Himachal Pradesh and drains almost 5,957 square kilometers in India. While the bees originate at a place called Beas Kund near Rohtang Pass in Himachal Hills in its early stages, its valley is called the Kullu Valley, since some of its tributaries originating from the southern side of the great Himalayas are snow-fed. It has a relatively larger volume of water even during the long dry season. It joins the Sutlej near Harik after flowing for a distance of 615 kilometers. It drains an area of 25,900 square kilometers in India. While Sutlej originates from the Rakas Lake, situated at an altitude of 4,555 meters in Tibet, Rakas Lake is connected with the Manasarovar Lake by a stream. The Sutlej enters India through Shivkila. Before entering the Punjab plains, it cuts through Naina Devidhar ranges. A dam has been constructed across these gorge near village Bhakra. This dam is called the Bhakra Dam, and the reservoir which it forms is called the Govind Sagar Lake. The Sutlej drains around 24,087 square kilometers in India and is of immense economic value for the Punjab plains. So now, after the Indus system, we will discuss about the Ganga system. The Ganga river basin with an area within India of 8,61,404 square kilometers is the largest in the country. This river basin drains the middle part of the Himalayas in the north, the northern part of the Indian plateau, roughly north of the line running along the Vindhya range and Amarkantak plateau, and the watershed lying to the east of Suvarnareka in the south, and the Ganga plain in between. The Ram Ganga, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak and the Koshi are the Ganga's major left bank tributaries, and the Jamuna and the Son its major right bank tributaries. The Ganga rises in the Gangotri glacier in Uttar Pradesh. At present, that is in the state of Uttarakhand, newly formed in the year 2000. Its two main streams, Bhagirathi and Alkananda, meet at Deprag, from where onwards it is called the Ganga. Of its total length of 2,525 kilometers, 1,450 kilometers lies in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh alone, and the rest of it lies mostly in Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal, where it is almost 520 kilometers. Beyond the Faraka, the main stream of the Ganga flows southeast into the Bangladesh and is known as river Padma from Faraka. A bifurcation channel runs through southwards through the deltaic plain on the sea. In this race, the river is known as Bhagirathi Hooghly and receives minor plateau streams such as Dwarka, Ajaya, Rupnarayan and Haldi before falling into the Bay of Bengal below Chandpur. In Bangladesh, the Padma River receives the Brahmaputra, known here as the Jamuna and Meghna. The stretch from Allahabad to Haldia Port has been declared as the National Inland Waterway number 1. The Jamuna is the most important tributary of the Ganga and it rises at the Yamunotri Glacier in Uttarakhand, Himalayas. From its source up to Allahabad where it meets the Ganga, the Yamuna's length is 1,376 kilometers and it drains an area around 3,59,000 square kilometers. Important towns such as India's capital, Delhi, Mathura and Agra are situated on the banks of Jamuna. Chambal, Betwa and Ken are major tributaries of the Jamuna. The headwater of the Ganga, the Karnali, is of the Trans-Himalayan origin and crosses the western part of the Nepal Himalayas through deep and narrow ghats. It joins the Ganga near Chhapra. It is a large river choked with silt which keeps shifting its course. The Ram Ganga rises in the Kumaon Himalayas and enters the Ganga plains near Kalghat. It joins the Ganga near Kanauj. The Gandak rises near the Sino-Nepal border and joins the Ganga at Sonpur. It drains an area of 9,540 square kilometers. Gandak also